We live in a world addicted to struggle. Everywhere you look, society tells you to grind, hustle, and force your way to the top. We are taught that if we are not exhausted, we are not trying hard enough. Success is presented as a mountain that must be conquered through sheer effort. But let me ask you something. What if the greatest achievers in history knew a secret we have forgotten? What if the key to creating your dream life is not found in doing more, but in becoming different on the inside? Here on Stoicism Breath, we explore timeless wisdom for modern life. The Stoics were not people who hid from responsibility. Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome. He managed millions of people and led massive armies. Yet in his private journal, he wrote a simple truth: confine yourself to the present. He understood something powerful. The more we fight against the natural flow of life, the more we push our goals away. Think about holding sand in your hand. When you squeeze it tightly, it slips through your fingers. But when you open your palm and relax, it stays. This is the heart of Stoic manifestation. It is not magic. It is magnetism. It is becoming the kind of person that opportunities naturally move toward. Look at water. Water is soft, yet it can wear down the hardest rock. It does not argue with the mountain. It flows around it, over it, and through it. Eventually, water always wins. This is effortless action, quiet strength, calm persistence. Today, on Stoicism Breath, I am going to guide you through powerful Stoic principles that help you stop chasing and start attracting. These ideas are designed to release the hidden tension that may be blocking your path. By the end of this journey, you will understand how to enter a flow state where success becomes a natural result of your character, not a desperate pursuit. But first, pause for a moment. Take a breath. Ask yourself, am I living in constant pressure, or am I allowing life to meet me halfway? If you want to anchor this energy into your life, repeat this quietly in your mind. When I relax, everything comes to me. Do not just listen to these words. Feel them. Let them settle. Because real change does not come from information. It comes from internal alignment. Now let us begin with the first principle: preferred indifference. There is a strange law of human nature. The more desperately you need something, the further it seems to move away. Desperation carries energy. People can feel it. Life can feel it. It sends a message that you are lacking, incomplete, afraid, and that energy creates resistance. The Stoics practiced something called preferred indifference. Epictetus, who began life as a slave and became one of the greatest teachers in history, said that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. This does not mean you stop wanting a better home, a loving partner, or a meaningful career. It means you stop needing those things to feel whole. Imagine walking into a social gathering. If you arrive afraid that people will not like you, you become awkward. You become needy. Without realizing it, you push others away. But if you walk in thinking, I would prefer to be liked, but I am completely fine being myself either way, something changes. Your posture changes. Your energy changes. You radiate calm confidence. You become magnetic. This is how you approach your goals. You say to life, I would prefer success, but I do not require it for my peace of mind. When you reach this state of detached desire, you stop broadcasting lack. You begin operating from abundance. And here is the paradox. Once you prove to yourself that you do not need the outcome to be happy, the outcome often arrives. You become a container strong enough to hold success without being destroyed by it. You stop being a hungry ghost and start becoming a sovereign soul. Now Rule 2. Become an anchor in the present. Most people spend almost their entire lives in two places that do not exist: yesterday and tomorrow. They replay regrets from the past or worry about what might happen in the future. And because their mind is scattered, their power is scattered. The Stoics understood that creative power only lives in the present moment. Seneca wrote that true happiness is enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future. Think of your mind like a magnifying glass. If it keeps moving across many spots, it cannot create heat. But when it is held still, focused on one point, it creates fire. Presence is rare. And because it is rare, it is powerful. When you are fully present at work, you produce excellence. When you are fully present with people, you build deep connection. Manifestation does not happen someday. It happens in how you drink your coffee, how you speak to your family, how you handle simple tasks. Your real life is happening right now. So stop living in the waiting room of your life. Step into today. Stay with Stoicism Breath, because what comes next will change how you see every challenge ahead. Because when your mind is scattered, your power is scattered too. The Stoics understood something most people miss. Creative power only exists in the present moment. If you are not fully here, you are not home to receive the gifts life is trying to give you. Seneca once said that true happiness comes from enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future. And that idea is more practical than it sounds. Think of your mind like a magnifying glass. If it keeps shaking and moving across 100 different points, it cannot create heat. But when it becomes still, when it focuses on one single spot, it creates fire. That is presence. Presence is magnetic because it is rare. In a world full of distracted people, a present person becomes powerful. Here on Stoicism Breath, we remind ourselves that when you are fully present in your work, you naturally produce excellence. When you are fully present in your relationships, you create deep and lasting connection. Manifestation does not happen someday in the future. It happens the moment you stop waiting for your real life to begin. Your real life is happening right now. In how you drink your tea, in how you speak to your family, in how you handle a simple task at your desk. When you treat the present moment like a sacred gift, life starts giving you more moments worth celebrating. So stop living in the waiting room of your life. Step into the arena of today. Now let us move to Rule 3. Transform obstacles into fuel. One of the biggest lies modern society tells us is that a good life is a life without problems. Because of this belief, when challenges appear, a lost job, a broken heart, a failed project, we assume something has gone wrong. We get angry. We feel sorry for ourselves. Sometimes we even give up. But Stoicism teaches something completely different. Marcus Aurelius wrote that what stands in the way becomes the way. This means the obstacle is not blocking your path. The obstacle is the path. Think about fire. A small candle in strong wind gets blown out. But a massive bonfire grows stronger from that same wind. The wind becomes fuel. You must become the bonfire. Every rejection is a chance to sharpen your character. Every setback is a chance to strengthen your resilience. The moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can I use this?" everything changes. You become unstoppable. At that point, life stops sending obstacles to defeat you and starts sending challenges to train you. You begin to attract success because you become someone who cannot be broken by temporary circumstances. You are no longer a victim of fate. You become a partner with fate. Now Rule 4. Reclaim your inner authority. Pause for a moment and think. How many times today did you give your power away? Maybe to someone who cut you off in traffic. Maybe to a coworker who did not show appreciation. Maybe to the news or social media that made you feel small. The Stoics taught that true manifestation begins when you reclaim your inner authority. Epictetus reminded us that while we cannot control what happens to us, we have complete control over what those events mean to us. If your happiness depends on your bank balance or someone else's opinion, you are not free. You are a puppet, and the world is pulling your strings. And you will never create a great life as a puppet. But the moment you decide that your internal state is your responsibility, everything shifts. You become free. Real manifestation power comes from inner stability. When you stop reacting to every little thing, you suddenly have more energy to focus on your vision. People are naturally drawn to those who have self-mastery. Opportunities flow toward those who stay calm in chaos. So here on Stoicism Breath, we invite you to take back the keys to your mind. Because when you master your inner world, your outer world begins to follow. Opportunities flow to people who are not easily shaken by bad weather, hard news, or economic uncertainty. This is where real power begins. Reclaim the keys to your inner kingdom. Decide today that no external event has the authority to ruin your mood without your permission. Because the moment you become the leader of your own mind, you automatically become the architect of your own destiny. Here on Stoicism Breath, we remind ourselves that calm is not passive. It is a quiet strength that attracts the right outcomes. Now we move into Rule 5, the practice of strategic stillness. In modern culture, doing nothing is often labeled as failure. We feel guilty when we slow down. We confuse being busy with being valuable. But there is a massive difference between motion and progress. A rocking chair moves all day long, yet it never goes anywhere. The Stoics understood this deeply. Strategic stillness is not laziness. It is wisdom. It is knowing when to push forward and when to pause. It is having the courage to stand still while the emotional mud settles, so clarity can rise to the surface. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for your goals is to step back and allow life to realign itself. Think about planting a seed. You do not dig it up every few minutes to check if it is growing. That only destroys it. You water it. You give it sunlight. Then you trust the natural process. Yet most of our daily action is actually anxiety in disguise. We rush. We force. We take frantic steps because we are afraid things will not work out. But rushed action usually leads to costly mistakes. When you learn to be still, something beautiful happens. You begin to hear your intuition again. You stop acting from fear and start acting from clarity. This is inspired action. Inspired action feels light. It feels aligned. And it often produces far greater results with far less effort. So be still long enough to receive the direction you need. Now Rule 6. Gratitude as an energy field. Most people treat gratitude like a thank you card they write after life gives them what they want. But for the Stoic mind, gratitude comes first. Gratitude is not a reaction. It is a practice. It is the energy of abundance. When you are genuinely grateful for what you already have, even something as simple as your breath or the shoes on your feet, you send a powerful signal to life that you are open to receive more. But when you constantly complain about what is missing, you signal lack. And life responds by giving you more of what you focus on. This is not just philosophy. It is psychology. When you practice gratitude, your brain literally starts searching for more reasons to feel grateful. You begin to notice opportunities, kindness, and solutions that your complaining mind was completely blind to before. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning that it is a precious privilege to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, and to love. Try starting each day by naming 3 things you are grateful for. Not only the big wins, but the small moments. The smell of coffee. The warmth of sunlight. The chance to begin again. A grateful heart becomes a magnet for miracles. And when you truly appreciate what you already have, what you have begins to grow in value. Now Rule 7, Emotional Sovereignty. We are often taught that our emotions are caused by the world. We say things like, I am sad because they left me, or I am angry because I lost money. But the Stoics saw deeper. They understood that emotions are created by our interpretations, not by events themselves. If you want to build a higher quality life, you must develop emotional sovereignty. You cannot live as a victim of your feelings. Here on Stoicism Breath, we teach that your emotions are signals, not dictators. You can feel them without letting them control you. When you learn to observe your inner world instead of being consumed by it, you reclaim your power. And that is where real transformation begins. Opportunities flow toward people who stay calm when life gets loud. At Stoicism Breath, we believe the real power begins the moment you decide that no outside event gets to control your inner world. Today, take back the keys to your kingdom. Make this choice right now. Nothing ruins your mood unless you give it permission. When you become the leader of your own mind, you naturally become the leader of your own destiny. Seneca taught that a mind seeking truth focuses on what lasts, not what fades. So when a strong emotion rises, fear, jealousy, anger, do not fight it. Fighting emotions only makes them stronger. Instead, observe them. Look at your feelings the way a scientist studies a specimen, with curiosity, not judgment. Ask yourself a simple but powerful question. What thought am I having right now that is creating this feeling? Most emotions come from the stories we tell ourselves. Change the story, and the emotion changes with it. When you master your emotions, you master your energy. And since creating the life you want is really an energy game, this makes you a conscious creator. You stop wasting energy on pointless drama. You stop reacting to every trigger. And instead, you begin directing all that power toward your vision. If you are ready to step into this level of control, remind yourself every day, I am the master of my emotions. From this moment on, you are no longer for sale. Now let us move into Rule 8, the philosophy of enough. One of the fastest ways to attract everything you want is to realize that you already have enough to be happy. I know this sounds like a paradox. You might be thinking, if I already have enough, why would I want more? Here is the truth. The energy of enough is the only solid foundation for growth. When you feel complete, you stop being desperate. And when desperation disappears, your natural magnetism turns on. Seneca was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, yet he would regularly live like a poor man for days. He ate simple food. He wore rough clothes. He did this to prove to himself that his happiness did not depend on money. That practice made him fearless. Think about that for a moment. When you are not afraid of losing what you have, and not desperate to gain more, you operate from pure inner strength. You take bigger risks. You speak more honestly. You attract abundance not because you are chasing it to fill a hole inside, but because you are already whole. You create from fullness, not emptiness. Rule 9 is the courage of authentic expression. You cannot build a life that belongs to someone else. Many people chase goals they never chose. They want the car, the title, the lifestyle because society told them that equals success. But the Stoics knew that real power only comes from living in alignment with your true self. Marcus Aurelius reminded us not to obsess over what others say or do, but to look within. When you live a lie, when you stay in a career you hate or pretend to be someone you are not, you create inner friction. That friction slows everything down. It is like driving with your foot on the brake. But when you have the courage to be authentic, to speak your truth, follow your real interests, and show up as you are, the brake comes off. Life starts moving again. You align with your personal path. The right people find you. Opportunities appear in unexpected ways. The universe responds quickly to authenticity. Stop trying to fit in. You were born to stand out and live your own life. And now, Rule 10, trust in universal timing. This is the final and most important rule. You must learn to trust timing. The Stoics called this the love of fate. We think we know exactly when things should happen. We want success now. We want breakthroughs now. We want love yesterday. But life sees a bigger picture than we do. Sometimes a delay is protection. Sometimes the reason your biggest goal has not arrived yet is because you are still becoming the person who can handle it. Give a small child $1 million, and you destroy their future because they do not yet have the character to manage it. Everything arrives when you are ready to receive it. So breathe. Trust the process. Keep growing. Stay grounded. And remember, here at Stoicism Breath, we walk this path together, one calm decision at a time. The universe moves only when you are ready. If something has not arrived yet, trust that there is still a lesson waiting for you, or something even better coming that you cannot see right now. At Stoicism Breath, we remind you that trusting the timing of life allows your body and mind to relax. And relaxation is the doorway to real change. When you truly trust, anxiety fades. And when anxiety fades, you become magnetic. You start working with joy instead of pressure. You treat people with kindness instead of impatience. Your heart stays open. You stop fighting the current of life and begin flowing with it. This is how you move forward with strength and grace. Now you hold 10 timeless rules that guided kings, emperors, and wise thinkers for thousands of years. You now have the blueprint to stop living as a victim of circumstances and start becoming the architect of your own reality. But here is a truth you must face. Wisdom without action is only entertainment. If you close this video and return to old habits of worrying, rushing, and reacting, then everything you heard today fades away. Do not let this become just another video you forget 5 minutes later while scrolling to the next distraction. The Stoics did not sit around wishing on stars. They focused on character. They understood that when you fix the person inside, the world outside has no choice but to change. This is a law of nature. You do not get what you want. You get who you are. So make a commitment right now. Choose just one rule from everything you learned today. Maybe it is strategic stillness. Maybe it is emotional sovereignty. Apply it for the next 24 hours. Just one day. Prove to yourself that this works. Watch how people respond to your new calm. Watch how opportunities appear when you stop chasing them with desperate energy. Your journey has already begun. Everything you desire is already moving toward you, as long as you stay disciplined and remain in flow. If this message brought value to your life, take a moment to support Stoicism Breath by sharing this wisdom with someone who needs it right now. Be the reason they find peace today. Now I want you to get clear on your future. Write down exactly what you are ready to create in your life using these Stoic principles. Is it a new career, a deeper relationship, or a level of inner peace you have never experienced before? When you write it, you make it real. And finally, say this to yourself. I relax. I trust. I receive. Stay connected with Stoicism Breath. Keep showing up. Keep growing stronger inside. You are not walking this path alone. Stay calm. Stay sovereign. And always live according to your highest self. I will see you in the next one.